came up with, the guy from Saga, the guy that can't get a book out on time, right? He used to be a brilliant writer and a worker, but now he's just a lazy chump. So they get the hood going. He's a main part of the Marvel universe, main part of the villains. That storyline ends. He just kind of disappears, loses parts. Then he goes after the Infinity Gauntlet gems, gets a couple gems. He's just an idiotic clown, and then he disappears. And he shows up once in a while. So I'm hoping they do him well in this book.
Very enjoyable, man. Very, very good book.
Now they just make idiotic characters most of the time. They finally got somebody good, and then they stop using them. I don't know why. Change of the guard, maybe, or change. Well, then again, it was probably different change of writers where people don't. The writers nowadays, they don't care about the characters of what the character is anymore. Most of these new writers don't have the love of comics like these older writers had, and all they care about is, how can I put myself in the book? No, we don't care what you would do if you were Iron Man. We don't care who you are. You're writing Tony Stark. You're not writing yourself in a book. If that's the case, write your own comic with you in it. No one will read it because nobody cares. People are growing up loving Peter Parker, loving Miles Morales, loving all these Captain America. We don't need you to put your input in it. Just write Steve Rogers. Don't write Steve Rogers. What would Steve Rogers be if I was Steve Rogers? That's not how it works. But that's again how most of these new people write nowadays. That's why most of the stuff is shit. Because we don't care what you would do, because we don't care about your life whatsoever. Just write a book, get paid for what you do, get paid for what you're supposed to be doing, and make it a good story. We don't care. We don't need your opinion.
Now, that, for those of you who don't know who that was a comic book retailer by the name of Glenn. I know his name is Glenn. He has a YouTube channel called The Comic Book Palace, right? This was one of his episodes, The Comic Book Palace Reborn, episode 42. I'm going to put it in the description below, though. They had blasted him on Twitter because of it, and because of his speech, and he even said it in down here below, and I'm a read it. I'm going to read it. It says, "I spoke with Glenn yesterday afternoon, and it was funny. Glenn wasn't trying to break the internet or anything like that. He was just speaking his opinion about the industry. He doesn't have X or Twitter or whatever you want to call it now, but was going to sign up just to read the comments because people were talking about what he was saying and everything. Thank you to everyone that supports him. When you have time, check out the rest of the video. The guys talk comic movies, whatever else comes up on a daily basis." Now, there's another one called there's another person that I know this name for from somewhere. Yellow Flash Productions. Comic pros are having a meltdown over this video, all because Glenn is speaking the truth, and sometimes the truth hurts. Now, why am I saying this? Why am I pointing this out? A few days ago, I had made the comment about the comic book industry dying and how they need more than just the few people who so hardly defended their love for comics in my comic section. They need more than y'all. Because just because you and rightfully so, you have the right to buy whatever comic that you want, right? You have the complete right to buy whatever comic you want. I'm not saying that you need to double down and buy a comic every goddamn week. That doesn't make any sense. People got bills to pay and things to do, okay? So I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that they need more love from people who have something to say about a comic book hero. Honestly, that was my whole point when I was talking about Wiz's opinion piece on the North American culture style of like nerd culture. And why I said anime culture is winning, because there's more love There is more love with the anime, with anime culture, anime nerd culture, than there is with the North American comic book nerd culture, and it shows. You can't tell me that that that's not real. It's very real. Just because you're on the internet and you see a video where someone's talking about Superman and it got 1 million views does not mean that his comic books are selling. Just because you see comics explain that's talking about a comic or King Lion talking about a comic every single week does not mean that popping off the shelves. There's a reason why they are talking about the comics because they want y'all to buy them. They want y'all to read them for yourself, to have your own opinion, your own take on it. They don't want y'all to just use Google and read the comic for free. That's not helping. That is not helping the comic industry. As much as y'all want to disagree with me, it's not helping anything. You reading a comic digitally that's clearly available for free isn't going to help anything. Sure, can you do it? Yes. By all means, you can absolutely do it. No one can stop you from doing that. Nobody. But the point that I made, and the point I'm making in this video right now, is that, like I said before in the video about that, how is it that we have so much to say about something we don't support? How is it that we have that there's so-called so much love, right, for these characters, and we don't really care? We don't really care. Just like the person in one of my posts that I made about a comic, the comment that was on one of my videos. Who fucking cares, man? Shout out to you, Rap. I hope to God that you unsubscribe from me because I don't need ignorance like that on my channel. I don't. I don't need ignorant people on my channel that don't care. If you don't care, why are you commenting on what I'm saying? Especially the fact that I hardly see your John Brown name anyway. So why are you even worried about what some lowly person has to say? Because I surely can't save the comic book industry. Your ignorance surely can't save the comic book industry. The Ryder brothers can't save the comic book industry. It takes all of us that has this love for what we grew up with to save it. Because the people who are trying to put it like what Glenn just said, the people who are trying to instill their persona in the in the comic book hero that we love so much, them trying to put their SJW woke crap in the comic books we love so much and make it canon and have it be a stain on everyone's memory, and then it piles up at Ollie's. Those are the people that we have to worry about. That's the reason why we can't just say that no one cares. Obviously, we do. If you have a problem with what I'm saying, because like what that other dude said, you can't disagree with an opinion. It's just my opinion. But here's the problem though. This opinion that I'm having is fact, and I'm not the only one that has this same opinion. More and more people are realizing that the comic book industry is dying. You think it makes sense that only Batman comics sell and the rest just fall in between, and some comics of Superman are selling? It's because some Superman comic books are selling. You think that it's a high sell? No, shit. Even with Batman's comics, it's still not enough. Even when Batman comics sell, it's not enough. Clearly, it's not enough. These comic book retailers are suffering right now, and they've been suffering for a while. And anyone that had a problem with what I said and was trying to sit here and say that what I said wasn't true, clearly you don't pay attention. Because if you did, you would hear the news about a lot of comic book stores, especially the ones in my state, shutting down. You can only find a comic book store that's open, that's thriving. Shoot, the one that's close to where I work at, people hardly ever go in there. Me and Urban Ninja went in there and found that one day. And we just went in there. You wouldn't believe the stuff we found. It was packed with a whole bunch of comics. It had a whole bunch of stuff. It had all the nice action figures and everything. It was just packed. And I was looking for Spider-Man. They had a whole ton of Spider-Man stuff. Had a ton of Spider-Man stuff. A ton of DC. A ton of DC comics. It was boxes on boxes on boxes on boxes of stuff. And then there was another store that was not no, too near from that. That was literally just like a this random retail antique store where it sold like toys you probably wouldn't see. And then this dude, I might go back there. This dude had a pile. He had piles of comics just in this one little cubby. He had piles of comics in a cubby. He had piles of comics on on the mantle where the cash register was. It was a pile. I went and bought at least 20 comics that day. 20. I had to say I spent about because I went back there twice. I spent about at least 150 something dollars. Because I went and found like a Spider-Man Christmas comic. I was like, oh, I want this one. And he was real nice. He gave me like a nice price for each of them. He was a very nice guy. He sounded like a New Yorker, but which is kind of crazy because I live in Baltimore, so you know you know what I'm saying. Like it's crazy. It's crazy to me how we try to sit here and say that something isn't true. Try to tell somebody that they're wrong, yet they don't even do their own research. And like I said, and I'm gonna say this again. I'm gonna say this right now. It wasn't everyone. There were people in the comment that actually made sense. There were. They came with a lot of details and facts. Some things that I did not point out. Some things that I probably could have worded better, but I was so flustered and I wanted to get what I wanted to say across that like I didn't really for the people with slow brains, I didn't explain it as well. But for some of the people, they understood what I was saying, but they worded it a lot better. Like I said before, this is coming from a retailer. This man has his own shop. He sells comics. So I don't know where people are getting this information. Well, some people are getting this information from that the comic books are not suffering right now. And yes, y'all can sit here and say, well, it well, thanks to like cartoons and movies, like people learn about the characters. Yeah, and guess what? It ain't working. Guess what? They're not selling. Yeah, you know what? You're absolutely right. People are learning a lot about these comic book heroes from the videos, from the TV shows, from the movies and everything like that. But is it really helping? Can we honestly sit here that it's helping any? That's all you had to do. Like I said before, all you had to do was go up on Google and look up a comic, or go to what is the most ironic thing in the world. Look up one of these comic book YouTubers, like Comics Explain. Pull up a video where they were talking about either Aquaman or Thor or whatever, and just listen to that for the next 2 hours. Bam, there you go. You don't have to buy a comic. You don't have to buy it. You can literally just watch someone's video. There you go. You know? You know what I'm saying? And you know what? That's not anyone's fault. It's not. That's actually very smart. Why the hell would I buy a comic when I can just look one up on YouTube? Or why not? Why would I do that when I can just find something on Google, read that for the next hour or so, and then go back to whatever the hell I was doing? Why not? Why not? Right? Right? Okay. Okay. I'm wrong. I'm just yapping around. I'm talking. I'm blowing smoke. I'm just talking my own head off. Okay, sure. But I'll say this though: the day when we lose, and I mean truly lose these heroes, and they stop being on TV and movies and things of that nature, which is probably going to be soon, if they don't change in the box office. If these movies don't get the right push, the right viewership, the right support from the fans, the so-called fans, because a lot of them I just gave up and moved on with something else. If we don't see a change within the next few years, we're possibly not going to be getting that much from comic book heroes. And that's not me assuming shit. That's not me guessing. That's something that could happen. That's something that could actually happen. But what do I know? This has been Master of Sakurai. I'll see y'all again next time. I'm out. Peace.